enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holler if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta do better for children. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?
I need to get like a sound effect board so I could get like a boom, because that intro is so damn fire. It needs like a boom, and it's like we go right into the podcast. I digress. Hello everyone, happy new year. It's 2023, and just as I said, we are back. I am here for season 4, and it's going to get just as musical and just as political as it always tends to be, and for the culture, music, politics, in the culture. I am your host, Jamar Jabari. It has been a crazy week politically, so this is what I wanted to talk about to start off for the first season. We have had such an insane type of year 2022, and 2023 is just starting off getting so much more crazier. So I wanted to bring on a special guest who we haven't seen in a while, Bob Gatty.
Hey there, how you doing, Jamar?
Hey, how's it going, Bob? How are you today?
I'm doing good, doing good. Down here in South Carolina, where we have nice weather and a lot of Republicans.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that briefly. What's the most important recent topic that's happening right now for South Carolina?
Oh well, for crying out loud! This last election, the Democrats just got totally wiped out in South Carolina.
So they did have a red wave.
Yeah, well, yeah, here they did, yeah. And the state legislature is starting up, actually starting up today, I think it is. And there have been, I don't know how many bills pre-filed that attack LGBTQ plus people in various different ways. They're trying to figure out how to bring back abortion restrictions because the state Supreme Court ruled the state's restrictive law, which was kind of a heartbeat type bill, is unconstitutional. So now the Republicans are trying to figure out how they can get around that.
Right.
And it's just more of the same hypocritical bullshit.
Right.
That's going on with them. And it's not good.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's not going to change really,
right,
unless some big time political changes occur, and I don't see that happening.
I mean, it's a real freaking issue, and it's not being talked about a lot, especially with the bills that are happening, that are attacking access to care for LGBTQ individuals, especially LGBTQ identifying kids.
Yeah.
We talked about this on Tommy Nation's Politics show. Shout out to Tommy Nation. It was actually a heated debate because we had a member on there who was a proud Ron DeSantis fan.
Oh my!
And he wanted to jail kids, parents who are bringing their kids to bars that happen to have drag shows there.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to him that drag shows are mainstream now. You see them everywhere. You see them at weddings. You see them at even freaking bar mitzvahs, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to literally punish parents for not only maybe they brought those kids there because they don't have a babysitter. Let's just be real about domestic labor. You just want to just get rid of these people's parents because he's saying we're grooming, and I'm an LGBTQ member, so I take offense to that. Grooming. I hardly ever around kids.
You hardly ever what?
I'm hardly ever around kids.
Around
Who am
kids.
I grooming?
Who are you grooming? Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just so hypocritical. And the other thing they're doing down here too is they're trying to restrict what books can be included in school libraries. There's a whole big list of 50 plus books that they're trying to they're trying to ban, and it's just all hypocrisy, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, and another thing about what the right is doing, one thing that people are not talking about is that their positions are very unpopular. And the only reason why they're getting the victories that they're getting is because they're using entities like the Supreme Court, which is not an elected body. It's actually, an appointed body by the president and the Senate to have these powers. And they are in office until they die. And it's majority Republican right now. And they're using this to try to sway their way constitutionally and with the laws. It's just so ridiculous. It's not a popular position at all that they're taking on any stance. And no one, the country is more left. If the country was not left, there would have been this red wave that they were railing about. Mm-hmm. But it didn't happen because the country is still more left, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I think it's further left than what certainly what the Republicans believe. That's for sure. And we saw that when the Democrats were able to hang on to the Senate, actually gained one seat in the Senate. But the House situation, the situation in the House of Representatives, is discouraging. Even though the Republicans' majority is very, very small, and it only takes 5 votes, 5 Republicans to vote with the Democrats from doing some of their craziness that they're talking about doing. If they have their way, Jamar, nothing's going to get accomplished. This country is going to go into a recession like we've not seen. I don't know about you, but I'm retired, and I have, I'm living on a fixed income. In addition to Social Security money that I've saved, it's in the stock market. And that stock market is going to go into the total toilet. Right. If these guys have their way in with what they want to do in making cuts in the economy, and I'm really worried about that. Really,
right, right, and then also you got, and also like just. They proposed this bill about abolishing defunding the IRS, and they have nothing in replace for it.
Yeah,
it's like what? With Obamacare. Oh, they want to abolish Obamacare, and they had nothing in replacement for it. That's why it fell. Like
exactly. There was a piece in Newsweek. Let me pull it up. It says that. House Republicans' IRS cuts would add over $100 billion to the deficit. That comes from the Congressional Budget Office. So they're railing about excess government spending, and what they're trying to do is with respect to cutting back on the IRS, is going to dramatically increase the deficit that they're all worried about. And they make no sense. They make no freaking sense at all, in my opinion.
Right. And as a socialist, of course, I am not pro taxes. I'm against taxes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: if you're going to get rid of any part of the IRS, you better have a backup plan, because a lot of families are going to be in the shitter. Excuse my French, honestly, to be quite frank. A lot of working people are going to be in trouble if they don't have any checks and balances. Like all we know is that we work, we have to get taxed from our work. It goes to the IRS, and we get whatever they give us back. We owe. What is the changes? What is exactly are the changes that they are thinking about doing? Does this only benefit the rich? Is this the rich that are complaining about this? Because
they want they want to cut out the enforcement personnel at the IRS that are responsible for carrying out audits, and it's the wealthy people that generally are subjected to the kind of audits that they're talking about. And so they're just out to protect their own asses. That's the way I look at it.
So this is literally not anything that working people can benefit from at all.
Hell
so why
no.
are working class Republicans championing this on if they're not getting anything out the deal? It's like complaining about taxes when you're not even at the $400,000 bracket to be taxed. But you're mad that the taxes are being raised on the rich when they have been raised on you multiple times. Like,
Jamar, I don't even understand. I don't even understand why there is such a thing as a working class Republican. I mean, that's contradictory in terms of in its meaning, I think, because the Republicans are not. Republicans are not benefiting the working class at all. Period.
Yeah. There's this myth about Trump. If you look into Trump,
what'd you say?
There's this myth about Trump actually helping the working class. He didn't work. He didn't help the working class.
He actually
made it worse.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
That's a joke. He laughs at the working class. He calls them suckers. And yet they fall in line. I do not understand it at all.
How do you feel about him running again?
Oh, well, I think it would be the worst thing that could ever happen to this country. I frankly don't think he has a prayer. But I didn't think he had a prayer first time around either. But no, I think it would be a disaster for this country if he ever got in again. I think Donald Trump, in my opinion, is dictator light. He wants to be a dictator. He just doesn't know how to make it happen.
Well, yeah, he tried to January 6th. That was the proxy. If he wins again, would he have a better plan, better than January 6th?
oh my God! I mean, what we went through 2 years ago, January 6th, 2021, was just a stain on this country, and it was a stain that was perpetrated by him and his supporters. Who were just duped and continue to be duped by this guy. My opinion, he's we know he's a liar, and he just trick people into following him and getting themselves. There are people now, family people, who have to spend their time in jail because they believed what this guy said.
Right. Right.
And that's not right. I mean, it's just not right.
It really isn't. And it's sad because there's a lot of things that Trump has done to the working class that is being overlooked because the working class just sees him as this. I mean, he was very populist. He, if anything, you compare him with his popularity to a Bernie Sanders. But the sad part is that it was all a ruse. And if people look into his policies and what he actually served for, he actually served the rich a lot more higher than he did anything for the working class, really.
Yeah.
And even Dave Chappelle made a joke about how Trump's not working for y'all motherfuckers. Trump is working for me.
Like, exactly. That's not, and that isn't going to change. I don't know, Jamar. Do you think the guy's going to go to jail for any of this crap that he did?
That's a very good question. And to tell you the truth, they're I feel like, Bob, that they're going at him on the wrong angles. You know, they tried the Russian thing that failed because it wasn't proof there. They're trying the Mar-a-Lago thing, and that's failing. And it's like, if you fail on the Mar-a-Lago thing and he wins, bro, like, oh man, he's a vengeful guy. He's going to cause an uproar. And if you have anything to stop him, you should have like been able to fully impeach him. And this is bipartisan, me critiquing both Democrats and Republicans, because there's a lot of Republicans that are against Trump as well too. But if you guys really were serious about making this guy accountable, you had a chance to fully impeach him in the Senate, and you had a chance to put him on trial. And I don't understand what's happening with that at all. And he's running. But here's the thing: you can run in prison. W.E.B. Du Bois, a well-known black socialist back in the day, he ran in prison, and he got 1 million votes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the running is not going to stop him.
Right.
But if they impeach him, he can't run. But they dropped the ball on that.
Well, they did. And I think that the likelihood of him, I saw where the other day where he's talking about starting a third party, running as a third party candidate.
Oh wow, this is new.
You know what? If he, yet. Yeah, it was. It was in the news last week. Anyway, if he decided to do that, that would, of course, end the Republicans' chances in 2026. I think, because he split the vote. He split the Republican vote, allowing for the Democrats to retain the White House. And if he did it, I say that the Republicans deserve it, because they just follow him hook, line, and sinker, and they'll get what they deserve.
A lot of people think Ron DeSantis is the new guy, and honestly, I think he's only famous in Florida. I'm not seeing him buzzing anywhere else.
I don't know about that, but I think the guy is dangerous, DeSantis.
Yep.
I think that actually he's more dangerous than Trump, because I think he's smarter than Trump. And
he knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
On a different level.
Yeah. Interesting thing though is that he won't be the only candidate that comes out and smells weakness when it comes to Donald Trump and tries to go after him in the primary.
Right.
When that happens. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
I missed my point almost because my phone is acting weird. I had my outline, but my outline is gone for right now. It's acting weird. I want to go back into the January 6th part with something that happened recently. For people that are Bob didn't learn about this yet neither. So people are going to learn about this. I already dropped a video about it yesterday. Had a guy from Telesword / Press TV, Danny Shaw, who was able to talk about it more in depth. So I definitely would recommend people to look on my page and check out that. It's a 7-minute informative interview because he only had about like 15 minutes because the guy's very busy. But Brazil had the same similar coup in a way.
Yeah.
Bolsonaro, who we know as the Trump of Brazil, he's in Florida right now because he lost his election fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
Florida has a long history of taking in Latin American fascist dictators. After they done their war crimes, they get to live it out in Miami, doing whatever the hell they want to do before they die and croak. Not taking any charges, not being charged for any of their crimes. So this is what Bolsonaro is doing currently right now. But his fans, what we talked about with the January 6th rioters who were led into foolishness, his fans still want him as president. In fact, Brazil is to the point that they are calling these loons. They're not protesters because people on the left, we don't destroy federal buildings. We don't take photo ops with police. We actually try to be strategic. And they want to blame riots on us, but that's the people. That's not us organizing riots. That's anger. There's two different things, people. So these guys, they're different. They're not protesters. What they are fascists. They want a dictatorship in Brazil. That's what they believe in. They don't want democracy. They want a dictatorship. So they went to the Capitol, destroyed property, attacked Congress, all that stuff. They were taking photo ops with the police. 1,000 people got arrested. They didn't get to go home, which is I'm happy about because we let them go home over here. It got them later. So we're seeing a rise of like straight up people just wanting fascism, and Latin America is turning left in such a tremendous way. And Lula is a very great left president that has been really elected. After the FBI, not the FBI, the CIA put him in prison. Bob, when he was last elected, the poverty rate was so much lower in Brazil. The poverty rate is skyrocketing now since Bolsonaro. He literally just destroyed the middle and poor class, and he took away the Cuban doctors, so there was no health care, nothing. Brazil was literally just being like shambled by rich white Brazilians for years during Bolsonaro's term. So this is like a breath of fresh air for a lot of progressive socialist people out there in Brazil, and just plain working class people that don't have capital, that just want to live. This is a breath of fresh air for them. There was over 100,000 people when he got inaugurated on day one. New Year's Day, he got inaugurated. So they couldn't do nothing then. They waited until after 100,000 people left Brasilia, which is the capital. I believe it's the capital. Don't get me wrong. Brasilia is not really like Rio de Janeiro, where it's like a tourist spot. It's more of like a capital spot for like government and all that stuff like that. It's boring. It's mostly dead all the time. There's no tourism there. So they waited until it was dead, and then they, stormed the capital.
Okay.
But there's so many parallels between them and us. It shows exactly like how the working class could be so duped to falling for these rich people.
Yeah. Well, it's really hard to understand to my way of thinking. Yeah, I saw where there were 1,500 people arrested.
So it's 1,500. I was told 1,000.
I'm looking at a piece from CNN right now, and it says that more than 1,000 people have been arrested, with Brazilian Justice Minister Flavio Dino telling reporters Monday that there had been about 1,500 arrests in Brasilia since the Sunday riots.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of people arrested.
And it shows exactly what the mindset of the country is, because the election was not a landslide. It was neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
Lula only won by a few million.
Mm-hmm.
He was they thought he was going to win by a landslide, but it didn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that kind of scares me. But what makes me feel happy about this situation is that the army does not seem to want to coup him, which is the biggest part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if the army wants to coup him, if anyone could get him out, it's the army. But
Yeah.
they're playing ball and they're doing the right thing for right now. But
Mm-hmm.
if anyone knows different, especially in Brazil, definitely DM me and tell me that Jamar know they're plotting, and I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, Jamar, what did you think of the fiasco in the House last week when when
Oh
the
yeah,
yeah, yeah, when the Republicans couldn't come up with 15 votes to finally elect the speaker?
oh man. I mean, it just literally shows how like disenfranchised they are. Not disenfranchised, wrong term, but like how disconnected they are with each other as a party.
Yeah.
Um, and they made all these demands and stuff, and I'm just looking at the Democrats like, yo, y'all should be demanding too. But the thing is that it took them so long, which is what I don't like about what these Republicans did, because while they had everything on hold, the people, hey, you got to be starting passing stuff and helping out with certain things in this country.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sit here and watch you guys have an episode for a week. Like, the more time it takes, the more concern it is to actually get this done. Like, I don't understand if they get that.
Yeah. 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 Well, I think that's a very good point. But it was, on the one hand, I thought it was funny that they couldn't do it. It kept going over and over and over and over and over again. Finally, the guy cuts all these deals and gives away all his power.
Mm.
But what it means is that they're going to go after they're going to go after financial situations that are going to hurt people. I mean, we have, they're planning to use the vote to increase the debt ceiling to get what they want in other areas, and they'll shut down the government if they don't get it. Well, if they shut down the government, the stock market's going to go in the toilet, like I referred to earlier,
Right.
and we're going to be in a serious recession if that happens. I mean, this is just a bad situation, and
It is.
yeah. So
is McCarthy confirmed finally?
yeah, oh yeah, he's confirmed. He's the speaker. Cracked me up. I mean, it was not even. It only started when the Democrats started fundraising off of the Republicans' inability to elect McCarthy. Wow. I started getting emails from the National Republican Democratic Party and from the Democratic leadership asking for money to fight the Republicans. Well, my response was, well, you guys, it's over with now. You guys, why do you need money now? You're not electing anybody. There's no election now. I need my money. The hell with you. I'm not donating any more money.
And this whole thing about Hakeem Jeffries, like I don't like him.
Why?
And I don't understand. I mean, well, because he's mostly aligned as a corporate Democrat.
Really?
And yeah.
Yeah.
And my thing about him is that, you know, Nancy Pelosi had the backbone to keep the squad in control, which is why a lot of progressives and socialists have been complaining about how they can't fight Nancy Pelosi. I don't think he has the balls to do it, because quite frankly.
I don't know. I kind of like the guy, actually.
Do you think he can handle the squad? I feel like the squad can run him around, which I want them to do because they have been failing on so many things, but I don't think he can handle them.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. What I think they need to do is, instead of playing games like the Republicans have been doing with their far right faction,
Right.
I think the Democrats need to find a way to come together, stay together, and kick ass with the Republicans. I mean, if they allow themselves to get splintered up into various factions, like you just alluded to, the squad and other small groups, I think they'll weaken themselves, and they won't be able to do what they need to do to protect against what the Republicans try to push through. So I think they
Well,
need to try to be stay unified. That's what I think.
yeah, but it has gotten to the point that one side wants corporate America and the other side wants the working class. I don't think they can ever come to agreement. I think they should make another party if they like really feel drawn to this, or they just need to fall in line and shut up. I mean, that's basically the tendencies I've been seeing from other Democrats towards the squad. Like they're just like, hey, hush. Like
yeah, well, all right. I mean, I think the squad has some great ideas.
I do too.
And support a lot of it. I mean, especially when it comes to the environment and climate change.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the Democrats should let differences that I consider to be fairly minor differences get in the way of them defending themselves against the Republicans, because that's where the big threat is, in my opinion.
And they have their perfect ammo to come after Republicans, and I don't know why they don't do it. I really don't know why, because the Republicans ammo? The Republicans are literally still propping up a Trump that tried to take over the government. The Republicans are literally going after LGBTQ rights. They're going after abortion. They're going after everything under the sun. Everything that is not a cis white male problem. That is what they're going after. And they have the ammo they need to call them out on these things.
Yeah.
But they decide not to.
Yeah.
Only in certain situations, and I don't know why. Like I have been on Twitter very loudly, just grilling the squad. Like, hey,
have you?
Don't forget, we voted for y'all.
Yeah,
I'm not a Democrat anymore, but I was on those calls back in the day before the DSA started, and then when the DSA actually started, I was a Wolfpack member. Like. The DSA has a very good agenda, and they're not following with that agenda, which is why I think, and this is what I'm saying. I'm going to say it right here. The DSA needs to become their own body and get rid of the squad, or force the squad to do exactly what they said they're going to do when they join the DSA. I think the DSA, and look, I'm a PSL member, so people are going to be like, look at this guy trying to tell the DSA what to do. But I feel like the DSA is strong enough to build political power as a third party and split from the Democrats. The Democrats is pro-capitalism. The DSA is pro. I know DSA members that do a lot of working class work, and they even were in New Haven when the Cuban ambassador came to talk about the Cuban embargo and how the country is suffering because the United States had the world's largest embargo on them. The DSA does a lot of good work, and it contradicts Ocasio-Cortez rhetoric when she's backing fascists in Bolivia that's shooting indigenous people. That goes against what the DSA stands for. DSA, you should be calling her out when she's over here doing photo ops with oilers and shit.
Okay. Okay.
But that's just, I just feel like the DSA should just leave the Democratic Party and start their own, and maybe convince Bernie Sanders to join. They need a big guy. They need a big person to catch the attention of the people. But I just feel like that's the move for them.
Okay. Well, maybe so, huh?
Yeah. Because, like, all right, Biden is now taxing people that have Social Security. Not taxing, but making them file for taxes on their Social Security. And, and then the whole thing with the rail workers, how they lost, their chance to get sick leave, and now they're striking all over the country. Like, somebody has to light a fire under these Democrats, because
you're right there, Jamar. I do not understand. How is it that any group of workers in this country does not have sick leave?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unconscionable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw that's what that strike was turning on. And I mean, that's just inhumane, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe Biden might, revisit the situation? I haven't heard anything about it since they did that.
I haven't heard anything more about it either. And I will just tell you, from what I've observed in Washington over the years, and I worked for 2 members of the House of Representatives back in the day, so I know a little bit about it. But once a problem is, quote, solved and put away, that's where it stays, and they go on to other things, and they, now Biden's in doing this thing in Mexico and defending against the Republicans on immigration. And I was.
We should talk about that. Yep.
I was really disappointed. I read today where there's some talk about there's more wall talk. Wall talk? Give me a break. Really? I thought we got rid of that when we got rid of Trump. Did you read about that? Did you hear about that? You there?
My stuff on. Yep, I'm here.
Yeah.
I didn't read about that part, unfortunately. I was reading about the situation between guns just appearing out of nowhere in Mexico, to the point that it's became an issue, which has always been an issue. But right now there's tensions, high tensions between the Mexican government and the Sinaloa cartel, which is the cartel that El Chapo ran. His son runs it now. They talked about it in the Amigos Summit. I'm just like, Jesus, they named it Amigos Summit, but whatever. So people understand what we're talking about. We're talking about the summit that happened between Canada, Mexico, and the United States. All their presidents came together to have a discussion about certain topics that they want to work on and agree on. They already had a deal, from my understanding, the back of what they're going to do with immigration, which I need to read more on. I have not well versed in that yet. But from my understanding is that what you're saying with the Republicans, which has been happening, Governor Abbott, Governor Ron Shithole DeSantis, that's going to be his new name. They put immigrants on a bus and just threw them all over America. Threw them all over America.
Yeah, I know.
So what Biden and the Mexican president was talking about, what I read, I want to get back to what you were talking about as well too, because I have thoughts on that as well too. But Biden was being grilled by the president because he was saying, "Oh, you guys are like just throwing us under the bus. You're not actually doing any investments to help out with this issue." Because a lot of Americans think it's just Mexicans, which I don't know why Americans think that. There's Venezuelans that's coming over here, Nicaraguans, Honduras, all type of people from all in America, just to let y'all know that Latin America is not just Mexico. But so that's the issue. They talk about fentanyl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The cartel produces a fentanyl. The cartel is right now at war with the Mexican government. Well, waging war with the Mexican government because both son in custody. Light street and they're getting all these guns. So the Mexican government is like, where are they getting these guns from? Who is supplying to them these weapons? What is happening here? Like, what is going on? So that's their issue, and then our issue is the border.
Yeah, our issue is the border, and the Republicans won't let it go. And they're just being total demagogues about it.
I agree.
Lying, telling conspiracy stories, conspiracy theories that aren't true, I just think that's. But I was, I was looking while you were talking. I was trying to scroll through some of this stuff online here. I swear I saw a story. It might have been this morning early when I was reading the news, where there was some discussion about the wall and completing part of it that's not been completed or what. I can't find it now, but I can't believe that the Democrats, that Biden would want to do that. It's just makes no sense to me. And when I see pictures of these people who have some of whom have really been in danger, trying to escape danger in the countries where they come from in South America, to get into the United States, and then they come to the United States, and then there's this great big wall with barbed wire at the top.
Yep, racism.
And you've got these thousands of people lined up at the base of this wall trying to get into our country.
Right.
And it's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, this country is supposed to be one that welcomes people who are in trouble and who need help.
Yep.
And every single one of us, Jamar, at some point in our background, come from someplace else.
Yep.
In my own case, my family on my dad's side came over from Italy, and they suffered through some prejudices. My grandfather changed our name to make it more American. It used to be Gatti, which is the Italian spelling. And he changed it to Gatti. He just thought he would do better as a businessman if he did that. And now I wish that was not the case. My dad, who was part of his life, he was a cabinet maker, made furniture and things. And he changed his name back for those things to Gatti. And, we just need to remember that we all come from somewhere else and not be quite so anxious to throw people aside, to cast people aside. That's how I feel.
Bob, I agree with you on that so much on a high level. That is something that a lot of people have to understand and actually not be hypocritical about, because they need to remember that there was a time that when Hitler was acting the hell up, the United States did not allow Jewish people in this country.
Yeah.
They were banned.
Yeah.
So a lot of demographics, not just brown people, have went through this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are upset about how Ukrainians are just coming through with a free pass. And it upsets me because we invaded and toppled so many Latin American governments for bananas, for oil, for lithium. We use the CIA to just go around, do whatever the hell they want. They're coming here because they want their kids to have a better life, just like every other person that came here. That's a third generation, fourth generation, first generation. And I believe in the radical term of opening the borders. I know a lot of people freak out about that. They want to bring the drugs up as an excuse and all this nonsense. But I believe in opening the borders. I believe in actually giving these people housing and rights so they can be able to participate into the economy, and not even just for them, but for us as well too, for workers. So workers don't feel like, oh, they're getting the higher end of the stick because they came over here. No, you deserve those rights too, U.S. worker.
Jamar, are you talking about opening the borders in a blanket way to everybody, or just for Ukrainians?
Oh no, I'm talking about for everybody,
For
not
everybody.
just Ukrainians. They're open. The border is already open for Ukrainians.
Yeah,
they are letting them in with no processes, no problem.
mm-hmm.
But it's not open for Haitians.
Mm-hmm.
It's not open for Mexicans or Hondurans or
Correct.
anyone brown or
Correct.
black.
Correct.
Right. And they say that these people have cases that they don't even have the judges to fulfill all these cases. They don't have enough judges. They don't. So everyone's just sitting there stalemate.
Mm-hmm.
And the Republicans are using this as an opportunity to exploit them and to use them for their agenda to make people freak out like, oh my God, they're everywhere. See, look what's going on.
Yeah.
And all this stuff like that. And it's hilarious, but it's disgusting.
Yeah.
After you have your little laugh, oh, Abbott sent somebody on the bus, you should also be disgusted that Abbott would do something like that. And I get it. I'm in Connecticut, so we don't have border issues. The Canadians are not trying to freak out, come over here.
Okay.
I get it. We don't see what's going on over there. But
well, why would Canadians be trying to do that when they got their own?
They'll come here.
Well, they got their own. They got their own health care in Canada.
Right.
I
don't think they want to come here because we didn't use the CIA to F up their country. So
yeah, right.
Yet you never know in the future.
You never know.
The way Europe is pissed at the U.S. right now, you never know in the future. Yet, people, yet. All right, don't forget. The United States sees the United States first. They want to build their economy and their companies first. Everybody else is second. That's the way they run.
Yeah. Okay, my friend.
But yeah, I mean, I'm so like when I say open borders, I'm like, make it easier. Yes, you have to vet some people just to make sure security is right. Hell, listen. A lot of other countries have the same problem, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know that. People act like people only want to come here.
Yeah.
Norway has this issue. Denmark, Poland, Africa has this issue. The UK is trying to send people to Rwanda. Did you hear about that?
No.
They don't want immigrants. They don't want immigrants. So they want to send them to Rwanda. Yes. And they're telling Rwanda, we're going to send you these people. And Rwanda's like, what the hell? Like,
you're killing me.
Yes.
I have not heard that. I have not heard that.
That happened. I heard about that last year. But yeah. This was a good conversation. I don't want to take up more of your time. I see we've been talking for a while, but this is great. Love to have you back on again.
Hey man, Jamar, I'm delighted to come on anytime you want. And I need to have you on back on Lean to the Left too. Because
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I'll get back with you, and we'll set up a time to do that. But I
Yeah, let's
enjoyed
definitely
talking
do
to you,
that.
my friend, and
Yeah.
you're my only communist friend that I have.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the only one that I know that admits it.
Yeah. Oh
I,
yeah. Well, I need
I
to
have a
link
lot
you
of
to
very left
PSL in
leaning.
South Carolina.
What'd you say?
I said, well, I need to link you to the PSL in South Carolina. We got a chapter there. We're all over the country now.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, my friend. Well, great talking to you, and stay in touch, and let me know when
Yep.
this is gonna when we're gonna stream this. When are you gonna stream it?
This weekend.
Okay. Let me know, and I'll shoot it out there too.
Okay,
You'll
perfect.
send me a link, right?
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yep. Well,
All right,
Bob,
buddy.
thank you so much for coming on, and have a good day. And everybody
Thank.
out there, everybody out there on the airwaves, thank you so much for watching. Definitely subscribe and support the show on Anchor. You could do a subscription or just listen for free. But if you want to support the show, that would be great. And have a really good day.
Blank period, yeah. On my black, brown, and indigenous. Gotta holler if you really feeling this. Gotta holler if you really real enough. Other rappers is delirious. Yeah, it's really that serious. Better holler if you really feeling me. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna live in abundance. I gotta keep it 100, ayy. If you don't like it, then fuck it, ayy. We gonna win in the end, yeah, we gonna. I gotta keep it 100. We gotta stop all the stunting. You know we coming from nothing. Yo, you talking about money, you bluffing. We gotta do something different. We gotta change how we live in. We gotta do better for women. We gotta do better for children. We gotta listen to victims, whether Jewish or Muslim or Christian. It doesn't matter your religion. You gotta stand against the system, or else you just another villain. How you just sitting there chilling?